Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of NativeScript Air. So today we are going to talk about NativeScript Sidekick, because if you look at it, NativeScript is like a superhero that allows you to build mobile applications for iOS and Android. And like every superhero, we need a sidekick that helps the superhero be just better at everything. So today I have with me a few guests. So I have Alex Ziskind. Hey, Alex, you want to say a few words about yourself?
Hi. Sure. So I'm Alex Ziskind. I started NativeScripting.com. NativeScripting.com is a place where you can learn NativeScript from industry experts like you might have heard of Nathan Walker. He's been on your show before, and Sean Perkins and Paul Halliday. And can I give an announcement about it today?
Yeah, totally. Go for it.
Cool. So today I want to announce that we've launched our 5th course on NativeScript. And this is on a topic that's pretty near and dear to you, Sebastian. It has to do with code sharing between web and native applications, which you presented on quite a lot. And Paul Halliday did this course. He did a great job on it, so it's definitely worth to check it out. So yeah, that's it.
Excellent. So it looks like you're just trying to take my job away, but that's okay. That's fine. I'll find something else to do.
I'm trying to help. I'm the sidekick to you.
Oh, yeah, you are my sidekick. Excellent. I like that. And we also have Tsvetelina and Kamen from our engineering team. Hey there, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kamen Bondev. I'm from Bulgaria, and I work on NativeScript Sidekick. And this is...
Hi, I'm Tsvetelina Ivanova. I'm Kamen's colleague. We're both working on NativeScript Sidekick. It's about this new tool.
Excellent. So here's the thing. I've been saying, we have this sidekick to the NativeScript superhero, etc. But like from the very beginning, I was kind of like struggling a little bit with the idea is like, what is it that we're trying to do? Like, why does NativeScript even need a sidekick? Like, what is the purpose of all that?
Well, some people don't want to work directly with CLI. It's a bit. People that come from the UI world and not working on, for instance, Linux or OS X, and they want to quickly do something that the CLI can, but the CLI is a bit overwhelming to them. Using an UI tool that can help them do their job. Also, this UI tool has cloud builds, and it can help you build your iOS app from Windows, so you don't have a Mac, and deploy it on a device and test it, debug it, and even publish it in the Apple Store.
Oh, wow, that sounds pretty cool, because even with the CLI, I can't build for iOS on a Windows machine. That's why I have a Mac. So that would be quite cool to see. Cool. So yeah, go on, Alex.
Yeah. So where do you see Sidekick in the entire process? If you could maybe go through it. Like, for example, I'm mostly a CLI user, but I really enjoy some of the features that Sidekick gives us, like some of the settings that you can set behind the scenes for iOS and Android. They're usually hidden, and the Sidekick exposes them pretty nicely. So where do you see it for somebody like me who is a CLI user?
Well, Sidekick is purposed to live like a sidekick beside your IDE or editor. And you can run a build and minimize it in the tray, or directly call from the tray some of the features that Sidekick has, like building your own device. And it tries to don't get in the way and at the same time help you do your work.
That's pretty cool. So yeah. You mentioned cloud build, right? So my thinking was straight. It was like one of the reasons why I really like CLI is that as soon as I build the application, it takes a little bit, but then every time I make changes, like the app will like automatically refresh. Like, how does that work with Cloud Build? Because it sounds like there would be a challenge around that, right?
Well, it was a bit of a challenge, but we actually managed to provide this feature is actually called Live Sync. So you can use it with Sidekick as well, even with Cloud Builds.
Oh, cool.
Reworking in yeah. So, but it works.
Nice, nice. So, do you think you could show us as well, like how Sidekick looks like, and maybe like even tell us, like, actually, before you show us, what do I need to get started with Sidekick? Like, what are the prerequisites?
Yeah. Okay. So Sidekick basically sits on top of the CLI. So you need the CLI globally installed, and of course you need Node. Those are the two prerequisites that you must have, that are obligatory.
Okay, so those are quite easy to install, but like, how about installing Xcode and Android SDK? Because this is something that most people that I worked with struggle the most.
Well, actually, this is as well where Cloud Builds can help you, because you don't need to set up all these things in order to build if you're using our Cloud Build services.
Okay.
So in case you want to use local builds, yeah, you do need to set up these. I think we have a lot of information in the NativeScript documentation that can help you with those, but right now we don't have like
requirements for them.
Yeah, it's not really a requirement for Sidekick because you can use the Cloud Builds.
Okay, so basically, I am a diehard CLI user. So you're saying that I still can use my local builds and I can use Cloud Builds as well?
Yes. Well, actually, the interesting part is that at some point you will be able to use Cloud Builds with CLI as well. So if you prefer CLI, you can still use CLI.
Okay. So are there any disadvantages to moving to Sidekick versus just using the CLI?
There are some. We currently don't support Webpack builds, but we plan to. And also we have something, we don't support reverse linking outside of the app directory. So plugin development is a bit hard. You need to place your plugin inside the app directory.
But that applies only to Cloud Builds.
Yeah, you can use local builds normally.
Okay, so basically, if I'm using it for building apps, this is perfectly fine. It's only for plugins that for the time being is a little bit tricky, right?
But we plan to fix that too.
Oh man, this is gonna be amazing. Alex, you want to ask something?
Yeah, so you've talked about doing a cloud build, and I've tried the Sidekick before using my iPhone, my real device. It works very well. How about Android emulator and iOS simulator? Does that work with Sidekick?
Yeah, we actually detect these just as we detect real devices. So you can use the same approach. Just go to run on device, and you will be able to see the Android emulators and iOS simulator. Yeah.
There's one requirement this time. You need to start those before you can use them in Sidekick.
Okay, that's the key.
That will be fixed in the future too.
Okay, so it'll in the future be able to start those things up by itself.
Yeah.
Start the emulators. Gotcha. Okay, maybe during your demonstration, that's one of the things you can show.
Okay. I don't think I have Android emulator here, though.
Okay.
I didn't set up the Android SDK. There was no time for that.
You're gonna use the real device. Okay.
Yeah, two real devices.
Cool. Actually, because we have some people on the live chat, and there's somebody asking a question I was even curious about. Would there be a way, because since we doing the cloud builds, would there be a way that I could maybe scan a QR code and send it to my customer to see the application? Or do they have to be local devices?
So actually, after a cloud build, you do get a QR code. So you can scan it. But right now, I don't think we provide a link that you can send. I'm not sure about that.
I think the cloud builds expire for now. So I'm not sure if it's possible to send that QR code to a client and open it. But we will think about that. Yeah, that is a feature.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that would be definitely a huge feature to like be able to share with somebody who's in different country. That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you want to show us then Sidekick a little bit to convince us diehard CLI users?
Okay. Just to see how I can share my screen here.
It should be the option like on the left-hand side.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see myself.
Okay.
Hey, it's me. Twice.
So here is Sidekick. We'll be starting for the first time. Okay, second time.
I think you're still showing my face.
Yes.
Oh, you're just basically starting the application.
Yes. Here are the two devices that we have. This one is that. Okay.
So what we have here, you got a Nexus 9, and was that an iPhone?
Yeah, that's an iPhone 6, I think. So here is the main screen of the NativeScript Sidekick. You have create and open and app search for the recent apps that you have here. Every app you create or open shows up here. And when you open one, it's moved to the left. Also, you have some documentation up there. You can open the Sidekick documentation or other NativeScript documentations. Also, you can open the welcome screen that is shown when you first start the app. Here you have also the create and open buttons. And this is the NativeScript documentation, not the Sidekick one. And you can open also the sample apps that you have in the NativeScript site. The sample apps with code so that you can easily clone one.
So can I ask a question? So you had that open there. Can I open an existing project that I built with CLI?
Yeah. This sample groceries app I cloned from the repo and open it. I didn't create it from the Sidekick.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. In the bottom part of the screen, you have the output where every operation lists some specifics about its work, if you have any. And another thing is the devices screen, where we have listed all your connected devices, including emulators and simulators if you have one or more. Also, every device has a console where you can see the console logs and the output from the device.
Nice.
So first we will create an app. For instance, a navigation drawer. On the right, you can see a little bit of screenshots from the template you're choosing.
So On the left is you're picking your project type, and in the middle you're picking your template.
Yes, you have 5 templates for every of the 3 project types, so you have a total of 15 templates that you can use in Sidekick. For now, we are planning in the future to add additional templates and also allow the usage of community templates here, so that the community can create a that can be plugged in Sidekick.
That'd be cool.
For instance, the NativeScript view template.
That's cool, because somebody was literally asking this question about.
Yeah, that would be very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can type the name of the app here. Choose your project folder where the app is created, which is the outside folder of the app. The app is creating another template, another folder in it, and we have here automatically set up ID, which you can overwrite and change it. For instance, like something like this. We choose the flavor and the templates, and we click on Create App. It will take some time because we need to take the app from the NPM and create its project structure. An NPM install is run that is getting all the dependencies from NPM, so it will take some time. You can ask some questions, I guess.
So you're always pulling the latest packages from NPM when this gets created?
Yes, the latest NPM released packages, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The templates.
So let's say NativeScript and Angular was the project type. You would pick a certain version of Angular or a predefined version or the newest one?
We will pick the predefined version that is in the package JSON of that template.
Okay, so it depends on the template, which is something that's hosted on NPM also, right?
Yes, it's published in NPM.
Cool.
Nice.
But I guess like this part is literally exactly the same as what you do if you just run the CLI command to do the build, right? To create the project. Is there any overhead in what you're doing right now?
I think no.
No, it's exactly the same. Basically, the UI is calling the CLI command.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense. Oh, it's here.
Yeah, after the app is created, it is opened in app settings, where you can set change. Oh no, you can't. You can change the description of the app and the application identifier.
Mm-hmm.
And also you can change some platform dependent things. I don't click on it. Application version, build version, target, if you have a different deployment target, device families, background modes, supported interface orientations. Also, for Android, you can set application version and the version code, which, as we see later, we will see later, when publishing, you need to change for every published version, or Google Play won't allow you to publish. Also, the minimum and target SDK versions, orientation, hardware acceleration, and the permissions your app needs to run.
Wait, what? So you just had permissions there, so I can just click and select which permissions I want to have?
Yes, you can also have a little help for each permission.
That is amazing, because usually that is a bit fiddly to kind of like if you have to do it manually and edit the plist files or the Gradle file. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also search permissions. You can also search.
So that's a really cool feature. I noticed that's the one I was talking about, where you're surfacing some of the plist features for the iOS tab. But I noticed that not everything available is surfaced yet. Are you planning to surface more features there?
Probably yes. We have some features in the platform that are not here yet.
So, for example, like handling of the status bar, that's a very common one that we always go into to change the status bar in iOS, for example, to be translucent. Or
oh, yes.
That would be a really nice addition.
I like
yeah.
that.
We'll have it in mind.
Additionally, you can also see the assets of the app. Currently, you can't change them, but we plan to add an asset generator that can create most of your assets from a single or 2 or 3 images for Android and for iOS. And the plugin tab, you can see the installed application, and you can also search in the npm registry and the NativeScript marketplace. For instance, you can when you search for something in the available plugins, show which is a new concept, and you can directly click on one and install it.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. So can you install like multiple plugins at the same time, or do you have to just do them one by one?
Currently, one by one.
Okay, fair enough. But where is the code?
The code is not in Sidekick. The code is in Visual Studio Code, for instance.
Oh wow! So I see. So
yeah, the Sidekick is a Sidekick.
Yeah, our main idea when we first started thinking about Sidekick was that we wanted to enable every developer to use the code editor of their choice and not force them to use our editor, just help them in their development.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
I see. So it's pretty much like when I use the CLI, I have my terminal open separately and my Visual Studio Code separately, so that I'll have Sidekick separately and the IDE separately, right?
Right.
Are you having any plans to have a button that says open in Visual Studio Code or my favorite editor?
Yep, this is in our, I think, most immediate plans, but it won't make it for version 1.
Mm-hmm.
That will be released. Yeah.
Nice. So
Okay.
once you created a project, what are the next steps usually then?
Okay, so once you create the application, well, there are a couple of things that you can do, but probably the most interesting part will be to see your application on the device. So here in the menu, you can choose whether only to build or to build and to deploy the application, your application on some of the devices or all the devices that you have attached. So right now, that's what we're going to show you, how you can see your application on the devices that we already have here. So right now, first of all, most probably you will be your first steps will be to build it in debug mode and test it, debug some problems and so forth. Here you can choose from cloud and local build as a build type. As we already mentioned, we haven't stopped this for local development, so we'll be using the cloud builds. So basically, yeah. So one thing that we wanted to show you is a feature that will help you deploy an app on an iPhone really quickly, because even when you build in debug mode, you have to specify a certificate and provision. So let me just remove this. So you have a couple of options here. In case you already have a provision and certificate, you can just select them from the file system. But you can also, in case you're working on a Mac and they're in the keychain, you can select them from this drop down. On Windows, you can also see them from the store. From the key store, yeah. But if you don't have these files right now, you don't really need them because in case you have a free Apple account that applies only to iOS devices, we can generate a temporary files for you. So all you need to do is just give us your account information and we'll generate them, and you can just continue with your development. Is my account.
That's great.
Wait, am I getting it right? You just literally creating the provisioning certificate for me so that I don't have to do it?
That's correct.
That's cool.
This is normally a nightmare. Like I can't express how hard that is for, like, I don't know, like every time there is a new version of Xcode, they change it, and I don't even know how to do it anymore.
I was struggling with this the other day myself. This is great.
Wow, I love it. Now we have to find a way for CLI to do it.
So okay, after that is done, I think you already saw that you had to give a password for the certificate, but that's pretty straightforward. Here is the paths to the generated files. It's already set. So we are done. We can select both our devices, the cloud build, and just after the run, we'll prompt you for the password that you just gave. So you should know that password.
Hey, that's not a secure password.
It's probably like a Bulgarian character, so you wouldn't get it anyway.
Theta.
First, we'll perform 2 builds right now. It's gonna take some time. Once the build is complete for both platforms, we'll deploy it on the 2 devices. Then we'll show you the result. During the build, you can see a bit more information about the build itself in the output pane. We'll show you that in a minute.
Cool. So I also noticed that there was a checkbox for debugging. So can I also debug cloud build applications?
Basically, in order to debug an application, all you need to make sure is that the application is on the device. And running, of course. So we put this checkbox here because when you execute run on device, you basically make sure that the application is on the device when it is running. So it is nice to have a debugger start at the end of the deployment.
I see. So, but can I do it over Wi-Fi to debug, or do I have to be physically connected to the device?
Currently, no, only physically connected to the device.
Currently? You're getting me excited again.
At least for Android, I think it is easier to be done. Oh, sorry, still.
Yeah, that would be a killer feature. Trust me. Nice. And in terms of like providing feedback to you as a team, like, because obviously that's what I'm used from Progress, kind of like, and then what we used to do at Telerik as well, like how we like a lot of changes to our software happen from the community. Like, what's the best way to share our feedback?
Okay, so we do have a public repository that is called NativeScript Sidekick. That is big. I'm sorry. You can use this button over there to open it.
And open a new issue there.
Oh, I see.
And while doing so, please provide these details because they will help us better to understand the problem and help you faster.
We'll welcome feature requests, so
yeah,
this is the place to put them.
I got a couple. I'm thinking about now. I'm gonna put in there.
He's already typing. Look him go! Look him go!
Thank you.
Great. So just so you know, probably one of us will be answering your feature request. So make sure
I know
that
who to email.
Trust me, Alex. The first feature request you get for free. For the next one, you have to send us your T-shirts.
Oh, I'm glad to share those.
I'm sure you are.
So the Android device already started the app, and we are waiting for the iOS device to deploy it.
That's amazing. You're on a Windows machine, but you're deploying it to a connected iOS device. That's really, really great.
Yeah, actually, I completely missed that you were building for both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
And on Windows. Wow.
So this is an iPhone, but I imagine that you can do the same thing for an iPad, right?
Yeah.
Basically, iPhones, iPads, and the iOS simulator.
So your preview, when you're starting the project up in the beginning, your preview shows a phone device, but is there a way to switch it for a preview of the template for iPad or other types of devices?
Yeah, actually, when you're in the Create App screen, on the right, you can see like where you can see the screenshots. There's like a tab, another tab in the upper corner that you can switch to iOS. You can switch between iOS and Android, and you can see a preview of the app.
Okay, I saw the Android one, but is there going to be like, I guess what I'm trying to say is every template might be geared towards a phone or it might be geared towards tablet device. Will there be some kind of association between a template and a default device that it's meant for?
That's an interesting idea. We haven't talked about that. Yes, I'll have to check with other people on my team. But that's an interesting idea.
I'll put that in the feedback.
Right now we don't have that.
By the way, Alex, somebody just requested a T-shirt from you.
Oh boy!
Rosen Vladimiro from the team. He wants one.
I'll have to make some more. I'm completely out of them right now.
Yeah,
I gotta print them.
We have a conference in Bulgaria called DevRich very soon, so I'll be going there and I'll see Rosen. So if you get me any of the T-shirts, I'll bring it over. Coming back to the topic, because with the cloud builds, are there any limitations in terms of how much I can build? Like, how does it look?
That's a good question.
Well, actually, the only limitation that I can think of is that all of the files have to be in the folder of your application. As Kamen already mentioned, that's actually the problem with plugin development right now, because the code of the plugin is not in the folder.
Yeah, we are not watching the outside folders.
But basically, that's the only limitation.
And as well, like in terms of like, because I hear like the Sidekick is free, available. Like, so can I just make builds all the time? Like, how does it work? Like, is there like a limit to number of builds I can do?
Okay, so right now we are still in preview.
Okay.
So
I think we lost you for a second. Tsvetelina, you there? I think we lost them.
Nothing more. Still here. Actually, we were just talking that the deploy on iOS just completed, but there's something wrong with the
player. Yeah.
With the player.
Okay, but we literally lost you when I asked you in terms of like how many, like if there's any limits to number of builds we can make.
Oh, okay. So right now there is no limit to the number of builds that you can make. All we require is a login, but that is it, nothing more. I mean, you don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to. You just have to create an account on the platform, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I noticed that that's a feature you've added, is the logging in feature. Is that going to be for saving your personalization settings, or maybe your cloud builds for optimization? What's that used for?
Well, basically, I think the only reason is that we just want to know our users and to be able to communicate with them if they want to. I mean, we want, for example, if we release a blog post or some other content that might be interesting to you, we want to be able to send it to you. Basically, that's it. I mean, you won't be able to store your user settings in the cloud as you are able in the Telerik platform. But basically, the only reason is that we want to.
For now, I guess this is subject to change in the future.
Okay.
Because settings in the cloud can be useful for large organizations.
Yeah.
To share between the users.
Cool. Okay, so I can see the app is built now. Like, so what do we do now? Like, what's the workflow?
Okay.
So we deployed on the device, and currently the app is live synced with the devices. So if you change something in the code, it will automatically reload. For instance, we can add a new page from inside the Sidekick.
That's a new one, right? That's a new feature.
Yeah, that's a new feature. That's you can add small templates that's only pages. Currently, there are 3 of them, and not much actually. But we plan to expand on that feature later as the templates. So you just choose your new page and press create page. It usually is very fast.
That's pretty cool.
And you click new files, and it will show you the folder where your new login page is. So we can open the drawer. Copy this one, this item, and change that to login.
So the idea is that we basically add the files, but we don't link them in your application. That's on the developer.
Yes, because we don't know any additional information about your project, so we might mess the things up. So we only add the page, and you can link it inside your application. So, sorry.
So this is a pure JavaScript application, right?
Yeah, this one is a pure JavaScript.
If this was an Angular template, Angular project type, do you still have that new page feature?
Yes.
And how does that work? Is it create a component?
Not sure, actually. The new page feature is created by a different team. The one that does templates. So I don't really know what exactly they do.
Okay, so that's something to check out.
Yeah.
Exercise to the listeners.
Yes, go check the Angular template and add the comments in the live chat. Let us know.
So you have a login here, login page.
That's pretty. I like it.
Okay. Another thing that we can do, maybe we can connect the debugger to the already running app. For instance, we can choose the iOS app, press the debug button, and it disconnected. Okay.
So just a note why this happened.
Oh.
It's because after you restart the application, sometimes after a live sync, sometimes you need to restart the application in order to connect the debugger.
Yeah.
This might happen, but I think you get kind of enough information in the output console.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically what happened is that we had an error, so everything restarted. But
okay.
Okay.
Error in the code, right?
Yeah. Started, yes.
I guess that's a small area to improve to, just like drop a nicer message. But so you can actually use Chrome DevTools to debug both Android and iOS application, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Because Chrome DevTools was only just recently added for iOS, right?
No, it was partially working before. They were missing some features. Like, for instance, the element stuff is still, okay. This is the Android one, I think.
Nice. So what version of NativeScript are we using here?
I guess the latest. I didn't specify one when I installed it, so I guess the latest.
Nice.
I can check.
I was actually more curious whether you do give access to the latest version or whether there's any delay between the CLI releases and Sidekick releases.
Well, actually, CLI and the Sidekick they don't need to be released at the same time. I mean, the Sidekick is just the UI tool, and it is using your globally installed CLI. So in case you update to, for example, to a next version, I mean, if you're not using the latest official version of the CLI, the Sidekick will be using the next version as well.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I thought I saw it somewhere. When you open up Sidekick, it shows you what CLI version is hooked up to. And it was up to date.
Yeah, basically, the only thing is that Sidekick right now requires the latest official or later. So you can't have an older version of the CLI with Sidekick.
By the way, I just want to say that a lot of people take this for granted, the modern way we update applications. But, this morning I popped open Sidekick and it presented me with a nice little green bar that says restart to update. I love that that capability. I love that always green auto updating feature. It's something we take for granted these days, but it's really handy.
Yeah.
It's really nice to have that in there.
Yeah, it's true. That's the funny thing, because it's always easy to complain when we don't do the obvious things, but like we never say thank you for like when we do the right things, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very good point. We should be all more appreciative.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. Don't measure it.
Okay, that's it. We won't.
The first one is free.
Okay.
Cool. So what else can we do here? Because so you showed us live sync, you showed us the debugging. And any other notable features that we should know of? Like, because you mentioned publishing, like I'm really curious.
This little button on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll open a different tab now because I need to. The problem is that when you publish to Google Play, there is a manual step that is required. You need to create your app in the Google Play console and upload its first APK with self-signed certificate. So that the Google Play can initialize the app for publishing. And then after you do that, you need to download a JSON file, which is a JSON key, actually, that you need to use when you publish your app. And unfortunately, we can't do the first step in Android automatically. We have a documentation about this in so many little steps.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, these are the steps you need to take in order to prepare your Google Play app for publishing in Sidekick.
Can you send me this link after we're done with the call, because I'm gonna add it to the notes underneath the recording.
Okay, I will do.
Nice.
In a difference to this, the publishing to App Store is pretty straightforward. Actually, you do everything for you with with a little problem that you need a distribution key and distribution provision that you need to get from Apple after you set up your non-free developer account. And you also need to have permissions to publish the app in the App Store, which are given to you by the one that is using the discount. Unfortunately, I don't have permissions to currently publish in the App Store, so I won't show it to you. It's just an authentication step, and then we publish the app.
Okay.
But I can show you how to on Google Play. Usually, you will keep this clean build checkbox because you want to clean your workspace before you do this step, just in case. But I remove it because the clean build is a bit slower than the normal ones. So we do next. We enter our key store password.
That looks like a real password this time.
Yeah, it's a real one.
All right, so I see the clean build checkbox is just for the demos. I see.
Yeah.
So what's happening right now? Is this literally just publishing the app to the store?
No, not yet. Currently, we built the application again. And then to present us with a new screen where we need to specify our JSON key that we'll get after we do the little steps in the documentation, and choose the track that we need to publish to alpha, beta, or production. Everything is done with this self-signed certificate, which is like our identity in the Play Store. Currently, from this year, Google introduced a new app signing in the Google Play Store, in the Google Play console. That is Google Play app signing, actually called, which unfortunately we don't support currently because it uses a bit more keys and the setup is a bit more difficult to be done, but we will try to support in the future.
Nice. Now, like, we're just waiting in anticipation just to see what's happening, what's gonna happen. So curious.
I think I forgot to do something.
Like change the version?
Yeah. I forgot to change the version in the app settings, and you need to change it before you upload to the Play Store, or your app will be rejected.
It looks like something Sidekick could help out with.
Yeah, I think since I hit it about 3 or 4 times only this day, sounds like something to be automatically done.
I love it how, like, especially when you're preparing to do a small demo and everything, you hit some issues and then you go like, actually, this could be annoying. Let me fix it. I just love that. That's why dog fooding is important.
Yeah. So this is the step where you provide your JSON key and choose the track to upload to. But we will close it. Go to the Android screen, change the version, and do it again.
I mean, that was on purpose, right? Like you just want to make sure that people remember to check the versions, right?
Yes.
Let this be a lesson to you.
Exactly. But still, I'm pretty much like amazed that like you are on a Windows machine, and we have this option to publish to Apple App Store. So you said there's some extra steps for Android. Are there any are there extra steps for iOS specifically then?
No, you just authenticate and press publish.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So while that's building, are you able to go back and build another one, publish another one? I don't know why you'd want to do that, but
this is a blocking step. You can't go elsewhere.
Yeah, but
I'd be too nervous about getting it done right, you know, for me to go do anything else anyway. I'd be watching the whole thing.
You can do something else.
Yeah, you can minimize the Sidekick and just go ahead and start work on the next features for the next version.
Yeah. Or just stare at it, watching grass grow.
We should add some cool animations, you know, somebody juggling balls, or you know, pictures of pugs turning their heads.
You can add a Tetris clone.
Oh.
Yeah. Or maybe we should play like a small videos with courses on features like, hey, have you heard of Angular animation? This is how we do it. We should do that.
I agree with that. That's a good one.
Yeah, we could actually have a plugin to native scripting.
Yeah.
And play native scripting videos in there.
Play the courses right there in the Sidekick.
$1 million idea. Implemented tomorrow.
Priority 1.
See? Alex agrees.
That's is that the first feature request? No, only the first one is for free.
Think carefully, right, about picking the first one.
I think my first request would be I want to have another 10.
Thinking ahead.
Yeah.
So one interesting thing that we haven't mentioned is that we actually have a Sidekick extension for Visual Studio. So if you are a Visual Studio fan, there is a preview of the extension that's kind of gives the Sidekick features built into Visual Studio.
Wow.
The big Visual Studio.
Are you talking about Visual Studio proper, like 2017, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Visual Studio user. That would be great.
Yes, it is in fact built upon CLI itself too, and it uses parts of Sidekick in order to do that.
So it's a plugin for Visual Studio, but it's not all the features of Sidekick, only certain features of Sidekick.
It is a bit behind, but the idea is to have all the features of Sidekick.
Okay.
Cool.
So what's this? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on.
This JSON file that you just got. What are you doing with that one now?
This is a JSON key that you get from Google Play Console.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
one of the steps.
You create a service manager there, and you get a JSON key for it, which you need to automate the publishing to Google Play. And here we are. We uploaded to Google Play successfully.
Yes.
So what? Can I download the latest version now already?
I don't know. I only released it to Bulgaria.
I'm in London. That's cheating.
I'm sorry.
Okay. VPN, Sofia. Here I go.
Oh, come on, Sebastian. Make your own groceries app.
Yeah, it's the same everywhere.
If only one. Oh, but now you are in Google Play, so the app is there. That's actually pretty cool. Like, I mean,
I'm showing you the release.
How many downloads?
0.
Oh.
As you can see, there's no data for actual installs.
That looks way too easy.
Yeah, I need to pinch myself to see if I'm awake. Ow! I am awake. That is pretty amazing, because that's something that CLI wasn't really helping as such, right? This was all a manual exercise where, I could build a publishable application with the CLI, but then I had to manually go and then follow all these steps, which can be somehow complicated. So I really, really like it.
Yeah. So that makes me think back to my question early on, is about the workflow and how would a CLI user approach this? So maybe a CLI user can use the CLI while they're developing, and then when it comes to this particular step, they can hop into Sidekick and finish it off that way. Would that be something that can be done that way, or what do you think? That's really cool.
Nice. So we have the Visual Studio integration, but I am a big fan of VS Code because it's just super lightweight. Like, is that also planned? And what other IDEs are we looking at?
Well, actually, we do have right now. I think there is actually a plugin for Visual Studio Code, but it only has debugging. So we do have some plans to work on that, but we'll see.
Nice.
I mean, it's not
It's a secret.
It's
It's a secret. Oh, it's a secret that just went live. So I understand that Sidekick right now is in a preview stage. When is it not going to be preview? When is it going to be like the official? Do we have any date for that yet?
Not sure we should be saying that, but
Come
it's
on.
in the immediate future.
Todor told me that you tell me live. I swear.
I think he lied to you.
I don't think he did.
Okay, I think we can say that it's next week, someday next week.
Nice.
Wow, that's pretty soon.
That is very soon. So should I wait until the official release, or should I start playing with it today? What's your thinking?
You can start today.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. I'm already downloading it, by the way. Nice.
Okay.
So do I have any more questions I want to ask about this building on Windows? Feedback, we kind of covered that. So just one last thing is like, so NativeScript in general, like it's an open source framework and it's available to everyone for free. Is that also going to be something with Sidekick that people will still be able to use it for free even after the release? Or is that just something we need to address offline?
Well, I'm not sure I should be saying anything about that, but it will be free up to a point.
Okay. That totally makes sense, because I did have a quick chat with Todor before the session, and then he did mention that people should be able to still use it for free and carry on building it. So yeah. I just want to make sure that everything is in place for that.
And since we just briefly touched upon IDEs, I want to just ask this question. I've been playing with the playground a lot lately, and it's really cool. And I noticed you already have a certain feature that's IDE-like in Sidekick, like create a new page. Are there any plans in the future to add more features that are IDE-like into Sidekick? Because the client is really nice looking. It's really clean. Or are there any plans to integrate maybe the playground with Sidekick somehow? Can you talk about that?
About playground, I'm not sure we ever discussed that, but I don't know.
So basically, there are no plans, but only the future can say.
Okay. But you will add probably more features like the new page button, something similar to that, but maybe new component or new service, things that help out, right?
Generally, yes, but I'm not sure what exactly.
Come on, there's a whole tab bar there, plenty of room for more buttons.
Yeah, the features are discussed, but Sidekick is designed to be small.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's a Sidekick.
Basically, the idea is indeed to help users get started fast and like do things fast. So in case there is a demand for a feature and we do feel that its place is in Sidekick, we will provide it. That's the idea. But if we decide that that particular feature is not for Sidekick but for something else, we might provide it somewhere else. So yeah. If it makes sense for Sidekick, it will be in Sidekick, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Cool. Was there anything else you wanted to show us in general?
We have something.
I guess no, but just keep in mind that we try. There are a couple of other tools that are other features that we did not show. So, for example, there is a certificate signing request that helps you generate the provisions and certificates for iOS.
Yeah. The same one that Apple sends you to create a SER file in Nextcloud.
Nice. I didn't even know about that button. That's handy.
Yeah, actually, there are a couple of features, but I think they're all in the documentation. So I think that's the main thing that we wanted to show.
Nice. And I heard some rumors that you're planning to add something to help with styling or playing with the themes. What's the story behind that?
I mean, it's not currently set in stone what the feature will be and how it will work, so we don't know yet. It's planned, but I don't have anything particular to say about it.
Okay. Fair enough. I think that was a pretty amazing session. It's definitely, you exceeded my expectations, because before I was just like, no, I'm a diehard CLI fan, and I think that there is definitely some room to either use both tools or kind of like, in some cases, just completely switch to Sidekick for some of the processes, especially if you have like a feature-rich extension for VS Code. That would definitely be, for me, like the point where, yeah, I would just use Sidekick. It sounds pretty amazing for me. I think like the highlight for me is the general workflow. So from the moment of creating a project, then working my own ID on the project, then creating a certificate, and then doing the publishing, it kind of like feels like it's a very clear, streamlined process on how to do it. So that's a huge thing. And I have a Mac, so it's not a big deal for me. But I know that there is a lot of people that are just on Windows, and I think this is another huge feature where it's like I can still cover both platforms on a Windows machine. It is definitely a pretty huge thing. What do you think, Alex? What are your highlights?
Yeah, for me, besides the auto update, I really enjoy the surfacing of the configuration options. So for example, people that might be new to iOS or Android, like I come from an iOS background, so I don't know that much about Android natively, but it's nice to see those features that are surfaced from the configuration side so that I can just go through it and see what I need and pick and choose. If we can expand that in the future, that would be really, really useful, I think.
Nice. And Kamen and Tsvetelina, by the way, you can stop sharing. We want to see your faces. So I just want to find out, like, just like the final bit is like, what you're hoping to achieve in the future, and how does it feel to work on such a cool project?
It feels great. That's all I know.
It feels great. We have a great team. We have great ideas. We have great products, and we do believe that that this tool will be helpful, and we do believe that people will enjoy using it. So yeah, we believe in our work, so that's great.
Excellent. And have we had any feedback from the community? What is it like so far? Is it mostly positive? Is it negative? I don't know.
I think it's mostly positive, and people do have ideas and share their feature requests, and we like them, and probably will implement many of them.
Nice.
I think we still have to do some work on I don't know, just making it known to people, because I don't think a lot of people know the tool. but we'll get there.
That's for sure. I guess the key is just for us to get our hands dirty on it and provide you with feedback, because how are you gonna help us if we don't help you, right? So we need to help you help us, right?
Yeah.
So that's to all of you, our viewers. Make sure you try it and tell us how you feel about it. If you liked something, tell us. If you didn't like something, tell us too, so we can fix it or keep the good stuff, right? I think that we're pretty much running over time. So thank you very much for joining us for the third episode of NativeScript Air. This was a really, really great session. I absolutely loved it. Thanks, Alex, for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
And I would like to see you again, maybe in the next episode. And Kamen and Tsvetelina, it was a great demo. I absolutely loved it. So thanks for joining me, and see you next time, right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, both.
Bye.